Welcome in everybody live here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Getting ready to go racing here tonight at the North Wilkesboro Speedway to kick off Season 4 of the I-85 Asphalt Series Late Model Stock Division. This time, the Dash for Cash. Things are getting ready to get crazy wicked here tonight at the North Wilkesboro Speedway, and we're glad you chose right here tonight to follow with us. Ladies and gentlemen, 25 cars have paid their entry fees, looking to go to victory lane and stack the points here early. The legend lives on as we tune in here to the live broadcast cam at the North Wilkesboro Speedway live here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Guys are currently in session of the qualifying times, and these will be the times that these guys will have to hold above their head to try to stay out of the heat races. Looking down here at what's going to be a packed outhouse here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel to kick off Season 4. Three-time champion Chase Johnson in the field here tonight. He'll look to try to make his way and standing up strong into the top of the board. Ladies and gentlemen, as these guys continue to qualify in here tonight, we want to remind you that the top 10 drivers will advance over to the heat races and not have to participate. Anybody that falls below that top 10 spot will find themselves in either one or the second heat race. There'll be 20 laps apiece, but 100 laps to figure out the feature here tonight underneath the lights at North Wilkesboro. Everybody is going to have a chance to make it through here tonight. Look at this drunk guy up here down in turn one. He's leaning big time. He's had one too many Budweisers, but that's what happens when they bring back the legend, the North Wilkesboro Speedway. I'm going to shut my big fat mouth. We're moments away from the green flag here in the LCQ heat races and the conclusion of qualifying. Ladies and gentlemen, this would be the perfect time to go ahead and pull up the remaining schedule here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel's I-85 Asphalt Series Dash for Cash. Headed to the South Boston Speedway 2 weeks from now for 130 laps of what's going to be some action. Awesome packed short track racing. These guys have a schedule ahead of them. And I mean, I'm telling you, 10 races ending at the Martinsville Speedway. It's going to be anybody's ball games for the money this year on this Season 4 Late Model Stock Division. Ladies and gentlemen, as you continue to look over the schedule here, we ask you guys to rise and stand as you're able. We'll go ahead and kick off tonight's National Anthem live here at Wilkesboro. Ladies and gentlemen, the National Anthem here at North Wilkesboro, getting ready to go racing here for the Dash for Cash season opener live. The qualifying session is in the books, and we almost have the results for you. Guys are still winding down their time, but it looks like if they're going to go, they're going to have to go now. What an awesome performance there from the guitar soloist. Ladies and gentlemen, you're getting ready to watch the season opener here tonight at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Heat races are getting ready to come our way. We'll pull up tonight's keys of the race. If you want to go to victory lane, you're going to have to do these things just perfect. It's going to be a 100-lap feature here tonight with a brand new racing surface that was repaved since 1986 back in 2025. You're going to want to try to bring in that high line down there in turns 1 and 2, and finally, want to try to find a manage that lap traffic. If we can get to it, qualifying session is in the book. Looks like we are getting ready to switch over here to the first LCQ heat race tonight, live on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We've got our starting grid. Here will be the starting 8 drivers, for the race number 1 for the late model stock division as they continue to load up into their race cars. We'll get you down here on the main broadcast cam for the driver introduction portion parts of tonight. On the pole for heat race number 1, driving the number 99 Boardwick late model, that's Dakota Pignataro. And on the outside of him, driving the Triple S 036 late model, Luca Torcott. And driving in the 3rd place spot, 2nd row, that's the Mad Graphics 00 from Middletown, New Jersey, that's Mike Doyle. 2nd row will belong to the number 27 Peeler Apple Ale, Landrum, South Carolina driver of Adam Peeler. 3rd row belongs to the late model number 6 machine from Princeton, North Carolina, a I-85 Asphalt Series late model winner, Zach Evans. And on the outside of him will be the number 18 U.S. Air Force late model of Nate Hall. And rounding out the 7th place spot here from Duncan, South Carolina, that's the ace, the 09 of Mason Cothran. And rounding out the tail end of heat race number 1, driving the SRT Dodge number 3 late model, Andrew Parnell. Peter the base car getting ready to take the green flag here as he is waiting on the command to go racing. Ladies and gentlemen, you are getting ready to watch some of the most epic battles here tonight. The qualifying session is in the books, and we have your guys introduced here for heat race number 1. We'll pull up those qualifying results to get you scrolled up to the top of the screen here. We apologize. Declan Willis will be on the pole with Chase Johnson, Ty McIntosh, Ace Throckmorton, Grayson Underwood, Michael Johnson, Brad Matthews, Alan Hammerbeck. And then the boogeyman, John O'Brien, and Corey Tesner will be your top 10 fast drivers here tonight at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. They'll stay out of the heat races here tonight as Peter the base car rolls off. You're getting ready to watch the I-85 Asphalt Series heat race number 1 live here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway as these guys rip and roar across the racetrack, getting the engine warm and getting the belts strapped up nice and tight. If you're loving what you're seeing, head on over to the YouTube page located in the top right portion of your screen. Check out all of the previous 3 seasons underneath our belt here for the late model stock division, one of the most long-running programs that we have on the channel here. Side by side will be Luca Torcott, the Canadian, and Dakota Pignataro. That'll be the front row drivers here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway behind Peter the pace car. The lights are still on top of that pace car, indicating to us that we'll take at least one more lap around. Don't want to forget, folks, the keys of the race that we just talked about here, the brand new racing surface. How do looks like 2, 4, 6, and 8 late models try to figure out their way around this brand new surface? The first race of the night, it's not the one to be in. And what do we mean by that? There's no rubber put down on the racetrack. These guys got a brand new clean racing surface, but everybody will make the show here tonight. The perks of being in heat race number 1 is you will set yourself on that bottom line come the feature. The pace car hangs the left down on the pit lane. Pignataro Torcott will be the front row. Green flag is getting ready to fly here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Green flag is in the air. You got yourself a virtual race. Is the late model stock division. Dash for Cash kicks off here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Torcott, Pignataro side by side down the back straightaway. Luca Torcott looking to go for the race lead, but he just can't shake Dakota Pignataro on the inside. Battle off of turn 4. They head across the line. Lap number 1 is in the books here for the late model stock division live here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We'll bring down the long ticker. Up the racetrack goes the number 36 of Luca Torcott, the Canadian, in the outside wall. Pignataro down on the bottom side of the racetrack. Mike Doyle makes a move down on the bottom side. Torcott, the Canadian, still stuck on the top side of the racetrack. He'll plumb that outside wall. Here comes Adam Peeler in that number 27. Contacts made up the racetrack goes the number 36. These guys are not going to spare each other an inch here tonight. 13 laps to go in heat race number 1. Dakota Pignataro's been here, done that before. He is a 3-time Dash for Cash late model stock heat race winner. He's got 3 of those heat wins underneath his belt. One of them right here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Pignataro definitely knows how to get around this 0.62 mile half asphalt of a little bit over half a mile or so. Luca Torcock back in line here in this Triple S number 36 on the bottom side of the racetrack. Mason Cochran's worked his way up here one position. He's in the 6th place spot, driving this Reaper Racing number 09 late model. Moves up the bottom to the middle side of the racetrack, putting down some great lap times right now. But Zach Evans in this mean fine Folders throwback late model runs to the middle side of the racetrack with Adam Peeler. These two guys are going to try to make some speed. Trouble off of turn 4. Up the racetrack goes Mike Doyle, hard in the outside wall. Caution flag on the racetrack here for heat race number 1. That's the 00 of Mike Doyle involved in the accident. We'll back that ass up here for the instant replay and take a look and see exactly what happened here as we pull up the instant replay cam live on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Contact made somewhere throughout the field. We'll check a look here. Mike Doyle trying to chop down the 36 through 3 and 4. The 36, the Torcott gets into the back of the 00, sends him up the racetrack and a hard shot to the outside wall. Zach Evans with a huge lick there in the inside wall as well. He almost is up and over on his lip. We'll back that ass up one more time and see if we can't ride on board with what's going to be the 00 of Mike Doyle. Take a look here as he gets pummeled from the ass end of the 36. This gets punted there, has to try to lock it down hard on the outside wall. Pow! Absolutely no shot Mike Doyle could hold on to the race car right there. Zach Evans has got some damage as well. We'll bring it back to the main broadcast cam and switch it back over here. So we don't forget, like last night in the Whelen Modified Division, looks like these guys are still back out on the racetrack. Doyle has got a little bit of front end damage, so does Zach Evans. He's down on the pit lane. He'll try to service that race car. Get it back up and moving here. 16 people live in the chat right now. You're watching the North Wilkesboro Speedway live here. The North Wilkesboro Speedway is the Season 4 kickoff for the late model stock division. Gladly appreciate you guys having it. Pignataro's out front here in heat race number 1. We got a whole nother heat race underneath our belt right around the corner after this. And don't forget about the 100-lap feature here tonight as the Dash for Cash continues to work on. So kind of want to explain this a little bit of this Dash for Cash for you guys. We had about 25 drivers sign up for a $5 entry fee. Really brought up the total somewhere between $230, $240. And that's what these guys will compete for all year long. A very, very simple point standings. No more confusing playoffs inside of the I-85 Asphalt Series. Whoever has the most points at the end of the year, that'll be race number 10 at Martinsville, will be the grand prize winner, and they'll get a check written to them for about $250. If you want to be that guy, it all starts here tonight. You're going to have a clean race. If you don't have a late model to end it, you won't have a race. A chance to win the race and or score the points necessary. Points, brand new point system as well. 44 points being rewarded to the race winner in tonight's feature, with a 4-point gap to second, with 1 point being minus all the way down on through. It'll be Peeler. It looks like going to be Peeler and Pignataro on the inside of him. It'll be Pignataro in control of the restart. Whenever the pace car pulls off of the racetrack, Pignataro will have the chance to fire whenever he wants to. We'll set on top of the flag stand cam with with Freddie the flag man. Green flags back in the air here. Wilkesboro. Here comes the ace of Mason Cochran. Gets some great track position there after the caution flag. He's down on the bottom side to the back half of the pack. He's in the 3rd place spot. Here comes Nate Hall. Looks like he's shot out of a torpedo. And with the wars going on in Iran right now, he's putting on for the U.S. Air Force. Glad to see it here. The 18 off the exit of turn 3 and 4. He's got Torcott in the distance, as well as Mike Doyle looking to make a move down into turn 1. Peeler moving to that top side of the racetrack here in this 27 Peeler's L late model, and he's got a little bit of speed in here. We'll ride out that front nose of this 27 late model as he chases down this Dodge late model of Dakota Pignataro. Look at this line that Peeler's got, kind of arcing it up the racetrack through turns 1 and 2 as they sail off the exit of turn 2 down the back straightaway. 8 laps remain here in heat race number 1. Side by side is the Canadian of Torcott and Mike Doyle. They made contact earlier. Does Mike Doyle pay it back here to the Canadian of the 36 of Torcott? Right now they're keeping their cool in the heat race, and Torcott looks to make the advantage on the bottom side through 1. Adam Peeler just can't seem to get the late model to rotate like he needs to turn 3 and 4. Dakota Pignataro setting some fast laps right now. 5 laps to go next time around here in heat race number 1. These guys up here taking pictures and talking shit about these late models, but I had to jack this camera guy up over here. Down on the bottom side goes Mike Doyle. He's slow on the bottom side. Trouble on the bottom side of the racetrack from Mike Doyle. He looks to enter the pit road here. Not sure what's going on, but he's off the racetrack safely, and we will keep the green flag in the air. 5 laps remaining here this time around. Dakota Pignataro lurking in the distance comes Adam Peeler. You're looking down the back straightaway. That's the gap between the third place spot of Adam Peeler and Mason Cochran. They'll work the banking of turn 3 and 4. Heading off the exit of turn 4 now. They'll see 4 laps to go. Adam Peeler definitely has a shot at this back bumper of Dakota Pignataro if he can keep it clean. Working in the distance, though, is the ace of Mason Cochran. He's up 4 spots from where he started. Just trying to play it a little bit patient here, get an opportunity to strike if these two can get together. At the checkered flag, Peeler changes his lineup a little bit through 3 and 4 this last time around. It closes up the distance just a little bit more, riding up the front nose. Really seeing Adam Peeler work inside of that race car right now. The number 27 heading down the back straightaway. Looks like he's got not a tight handling race car, but he's really on the brake hard through 3 and 4. That's where he's losing his time to Pignataro as they come across the line to see 2 laps to go. Nobody else really battling out throughout the field. Andrew Parnell's gotten around. Zach Evans in this Dodge Challenger, Hellcat SRT late model. But it's going to be Pignataro down into turn 3 and 4 with Adam Peeler in the distance. White flag will be in the air, presented by AFLGlobal.com. And we'll see a look at what happens here in the closing lap. Does Peeler make the move around Pignataro in the closing lap? We've seen a crazy move to end the Whelen Modified Heat race last night. Pignataro down the back straightaway for the final time. Pignataro will work off the exit of turn 3 and 4, come across the line, and he will win the LCQ Heat race to kick off the Season 4 Dash for Cash. Great race right there. That was an awesome finish. Dakota Pignataro able to score the victory, though. He'll add the bonus points to his total score. The New Bern driver adds his 4th Dash for Cash Heat race win to his results. What a great race right there on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We'll go ahead and bring up those results for you. You can see how everybody shook out there. Heat race number 1. Have to give it a minute to process those results. While we have that, though, we'll have the rest of the guys that's going to compete in heat race number 2 load up on the racetrack, and we'll get these guys situated. Oh, looks like we got a fan favorite on the front. The number 24 is back in business. We'll go ahead and get it kicked off here on the pole, driving the number 24 Gulf Busch Light late model from Greenville, South Carolina. That's James Fountain. And on the outside of him, driving the ACR Racing KPG number 2 late model from Paces, Virginia, Trace Daniel. Starting in the 3rd place spot, driving the ACR Life Ring number 92 late model, Lane Woods. In the 2nd row, driving the new 2 Fabric Softener Ponchos Custom 22 late model. That's the High Point, North Carolina driver of Chris Schaffner. And driving the Slim Jim Triple Deuce late model from Beattown, Indiana, Chris Knighty. On the outside of him will be the number 29 Hellman Mayonnaise late model of Phil Bogdan. And driving the number 03 NR3 Design Chevy late model from Denison, Texas, Dylan Thomas. And behind him, driving the number 35 Weekend Woodsman late model, Tim Conrad. So a familiar face up here up front, James Fountain, the 2-time Whelen Modified champion here inside of the I-85 Asphalt Series. Scored him a spot here. He's full-time on the late model stock division. He'll look to charge for the Dash for Cash this series. This heat race is a little bit bigger than the other one. We got 8 drivers on the field as well. But these one right here, the last one's full of a bunch of rookies. This one right here is split pretty evenly between some guys that we've seen before and or we are brand new to the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Looks like we get 1 to go green this time around. I want to remind you folks, if you are just now tuning in, don't forget the keys of the race here as we knocked out heat race number 1 that belonged to Dakota Pignataro. Going to have 2 heat races here for 15 laps apiece. 100 laps for the feature. Everybody will advance. We're going to have to try to bring in that brand new top line on this brand new racing service and manage the lap traffic. We'll worry more about the lap traffic when we get to the feature portion part of tonight. Right now, we got about 15 more laps separating us and the rest of the field for qualifying themselves in on the line. This will set the outside row for the feature. It'll be Fountain and Daniel on the front row. Green flags getting ready to fly in the air at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. The legend lives on for heat race number 2. Heading Getting down into turn 3 and 4. You're looking out the fan cam here at Wilkesboro. Off the exit of turn 4. Fountain has the race lead over Trace Daniel. They'll work their way down here into turn 3 and 4. The number 92 ACR Racing late models getting pushed and shoved by Fabric Sharpener. That's Chris Sharpener off the exit of turn 2. James Fountain's got 3 of these LCQ heat race wins in this 24 late model for Chase Johnson Racing. Behind him is the ACR Racing rookie of Trace Daniel. How will he try to make his new entrance here into the I-85 Asphalt Series? You're going to have to be nice about it. You don't want to be an asshole early. Here comes the triple deuce of Chris Noddy from B-Town, Indiana, looking to slim his way up through the field in the Slim Jim triple deuce. Tim Conrad driving this weekend, Woodsman number 35 late model right here. He was a contestant last year part-time. He was awesome, one of them guys that could really take the long run and take advantage of it, saving some Hoosier tire. Trace Daniel looking to the inside of this James Fountain number 24 machine early for the race lead. Chevy versus, what is that, a Cadillac right there? Coming out of the ACR Racing camp, Trace Daniel trying to make something shake in this number 2 late model. ACR Racing, I can say, put on a hell of a performance last year inside of the late model stock division here on the I-85 Asphalt Series. Lane Woods and, his partner Declan Willis, those two went at it here in the ACR Racing late model camp. Back and forth, not many guys secured victories, but with the guys that did go to victory lane, it was very limited. Those guys really did earn those wins. Chase Johnson, who's qualified into the top 10 best drivers here tonight, 3-time champion here in the late model stock division. You'll have to fight through him tonight here for sure at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. We'll see how things shake up here. Everybody's single file pretty much right now. 9 laps to go here in heat race number 2. Looking at the spotter cam, looking at Phil Bogdan get a tad bit loose up the corner, 2 turns, 1 and 2. How does Tim Conrad make this move down here into 3 and 4 if he elects to make the move? Riding out the tail end of Phil Bogdan. He's got an absolute mirror full of Tim Conrad. Look at this battle right here, folks. 2 older guys going at it. At that, I don't want to call anybody out for their significance in age, but I'm just a young buck looking at these guys go at it here. Still missing a couple OG veterans. They look like they didn't make their return here inside of the I-85 Asphalt Series. No Tony Cook, no Bobby Kyle. It's all right, though. We got a bunch of brand new faces. Dylan Thomas and this 03 late model running in the 8th place spot right now in this heat race. Don't get it twisted, though. Denison, Texas, staying up 106 laps led last night in the modified race for Dylan Thomas. He almost had the victory, but the late caution flag snubbed Dylan Thomas up a win. He was penalized for the way that he closed the event last night, but he still has an awesome advantage in the point standings. Right now, though, James Fountain has been the guy to talk about coming to 5 laps to go in heat race number 2. Trace Daniel right behind him trying to make something shake. Here comes another one of those ACR Racing late models. That's Lane Woods. He's all over the back bumper of his teammate Trace Daniel. James Fountain sees 4 laps to go at the Legend Lives On here in Wilkesboro. Conrad down to the bottom side of the racetrack, just trying everything he knows possible inside of this number 35 to get around the 29 of Phil Bogdan, knowing that every spot's going to matter here on the grid when we take the green flag for the feature. That's going to be right around the corner. You see Tim Conrad in his Busch Light suit. Look at all the sponsorship. We talked about Tim Conrad and all the sponsorship coming on board this 35 machine this year full-time inside of the I-85 Asphalt Series. Tim Conrad said it was a blessing to have weekend woodsmen be on the 35 machine this weekend in North Wilkesboro. But Lane Woods says who gives a damn if it's ACR Racing on the side of the late model. He'll battle door to door with his teammate through 1. Still got the quarter panel contact made off turn 2. Lane Woods, Trace Daniel battling for the 2nd place spot. Fountain looks at him in the distance, knowing that he just needs to bring it around 2 more times. About 2 miles remain from James Fountain in a heat race win. Is James Fountain wearing his all-white uniform here tonight, not trying to get dirty. He's out front in the clean air. It'll be a white flag in the air this time around, presented to you by AFLglobal.com for James Fountain. He'll come across the line and he'll only need 1 more lap to secure the heat race win here tonight and start in what's going to be the 12th place spot here after heat race number 2. Lane Woods, Trace Daniel battle for the 2nd place spot, but it's all James Fountain off turn 3 and 4. Fountain will win his 3rd LCQ heat race here in the I-85 Asphalt Series. Domination from the 24 Gulf Late model. James Fountain from Greenville, South Carolina, as number 92 goes around there at the conclusion of the heat race. Fountain will lead every lap from the pole and take the victory. The warm-up session is on our way, folks. These guys will talk back and forth with the admin to talk and see how they would like the track state to go on here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, they will have about a minute and a half to adjust and work on these race cars. We gladly appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight, making this exactly what we anticipated it to be. We'll be back in just a moment, about a minute and a half or so. Green flag for the feature, 100 laps here tonight to kick off the Dash for Cash at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. We're back in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, what an awesome 2 heat races right there on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Some clean racing at that. Only one caution flag in heat race number 1. We'll go ahead and bring up those results for you now, as I believe they are all the way posted from the admin. We'll go ahead and get those up to you right here on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, it was an awesome show in heat race number 1. Saw Dakota Pignataro win the race there, consistently putting down some consistent lap times. We'll take it by 0.2 of a second over the 27 of Adam Peeler. Cawthorn with the top 3 there as well. That was heat race number 1. Heat race number 2 turned out as James Fountain, Lane Woods right there, and Trace Daniel. The 2 ACR Racing showed some great speed, but they'll still have to come from like the 12th and 13th and 14th place spot here after the conclusion of heat race number 2. Chris Noddy with a big run right there. He was up 2 spots from where he started, and the 03 Southern Swim Racing of Dylan Thomas will have some work to do. We're moments away from the green flag here tonight for the feature live at the I-85 Asphalt Series Season 4 kickoff for the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We'll check it on over here to a couple of our sponsors while we have the time to do so. We need a brand new paint, a brand new spec map, a brand new custom number. Head on over to NR3 Designs, located find them on Discord. They don't have a website quite yet. They're in the making of that. Go see Neil Rutt III at NR3_Designs on Instagram and check them out today. And after the late model race here tonight, these guys are going to need it. Head on over to Maccabee Auto Services, LLC, for all of your preventative maintenance, brake services, suspension repairs, and transmission needs. And a lot of the custom installs going on right now. 864-256-1346 or email maccabeeautorepair@gmail.com. I'm from South Carolina. I know how bad the roads can get. Go check out CK Parking Lot at 402-610-0691 in Lincoln, Nebraska for all your crack joint sealing, seal coats, and repairing needs. And we'll do one more here for you tonight, folks. Looking for a brand new porch swing? Head on over to the Pop Porch Bed Swings. Custom-made, handcrafted porch bed swings. 864-978-1913 for all your bed swings, woodworking, and wood project needs. Check them out on Facebook at Pop Porch Bed Swings. Get you back down here on the main broadcast cam. Got about a minute left or so in the warm-up session as we currently run. Declan Willis is on top of the leaderboard, and 2 ACR Racing machines round out the top 2 spot. Chase Johnson in the 3rd place spot. He's in a brand new custom number this year for Chase Johnson Racing. We'll have all of that information for you here in just a moment, right around the corner. Gladly appreciate everybody tuning in, as I'm not the prettiest guy, so that's why I don't show my face on the camera. We'll go ahead and do the weather report here tonight, though. I'm not one of those bad girls you see on TV, but a 75-degree temperature here for the night's main event, as the lights will go down here. The lights will come on as they come down the back straightaway here and try to make something shake here tonight. The weather report presented to you here tonight by Maccabee Auto Services Repair. 0 mile per hour wind with a partly cloudy chance of rain, and about 11 o'clock or so the rain should be here, but we should have this race well set in before. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm hearing from the race admin right now that he's telling the guys to go ahead and get it on the pit lane. Green flag right around the corner here at North Wilkesboro, kicking off Season 4 Dash for Cash. $250 is on the line here in the coming weeks. About 9 races from now, Ladies and gentlemen, go grab another beer, light another cigarette, pop some popcorn. It's going to be an epic one. Switching on over into the main feature here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody advances out of the LCQ heat races here tonight. This is what we've all waited for. 25 entries paid their way here tonight for a spot here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, and you have found it. This will be your starting 12 driver, the fast 10, and the starting 10 on the front 5 rows, with your 2 heat race winners starting in the 11th and 12th place spot. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to get down on the racetrack and meet your favorite driver getting ready to take the green flag here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel for the Season 4 kickoff race? Live here at North Wilkesboro, we're still waiting on our pole sitter. There he goes, driving the number 100 machine from South Boston, Virginia, Declan Willis. On the outside of him will be the number 957 from Greer, South Carolina, of Chase Johnson. Starting in the second row, third place spot from Asheville, North Carolina, Ty McIntosh. Starting in the fourth place spot, driving the number 72, Throckmorton, late model Ace Throckmorton. Starting in the 01 Underwood Racing Machine here tonight, Grayson Underwood. Sixth place belongs to number 40 PSD Products late model of Michael Johnson. Driving the number 51 late model here tonight from Duncan, South Carolina. That's the late model of Alan Hammerbeck. On the inside of him will be the number 04 Snap-on late model of Brad Matthews. And on the outside of him will be the number 88 HendrickCars.com Wheeler Metals late model of Corey Tessner. On the inside of him will be the number 23 Stukin late model from Greer, South Carolina, of John Michael Bryant. Behind him will be the number 99 Heat Race number 1 winner, the Monkey Collection machine of Dakota Pignataro. Driving the number 24 Busch Light Gulf late model, the Heat 2 race winner, James Fountain. And on behind them, driving the ACR Racing Life Ring number 92 late model, Lane Woods. On the inside of him will be the number 27 Peelers L. Landrum, South Carolina, driver of Adam Peeler. Driving the number 2 ACR Racing Keep AG late model from Paces, Virginia, Trace Daniel. On the inside of him from Duncan, South Carolina, that's the ace of Mason Cothran. Driving the number 036 Throckmorton late model, the Canadian Luca Torcott. And driving the number 22 here tonight on the High Point, North Carolina, that's the Fabric Schaffner, Chris Schaffner. Driving the number 18 U.S. Air Force late model, Nate Hall. Backing out this 13th row, the number 29 and the number 3, Bill Bogdan and Andrew Parnell. Zach Evans driving the number 6 late model from Princeton, North Carolina, and on the outside of him will be Tim Conrad in the number 35. The 00 from Middletown, New Jersey belongs to Mike Doyle in the 24th place spot, with Chris Knighty shaking out the 25th place spot from B-Town, Indiana. Dylan Thomas in the 03 NR3 design late model from Denison, Texas will be our 26th and final driver here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. This is what you came for, folks. Green flag getting ready to fly here in a couple of laps. Declan Willis on the pole. Chase Johnson to his outside. The 3-time champion back to back to back for the 957 of Chase Johnson. We'll take one more lap around the North Wilkesboro Speedway before we get the green flag. It'll give us a great chance to pull up the keys of the race. 100 laps are set here tonight. 0 sets of tires. They're going to have to save them and hold on to them. A brand new racing surface. Bringing in that top line in turn 1 and 2 is going to be critical. And finally, manage the lap traffic. 25 cars here tonight. You're definitely going to find some eventually. We've already knocked out our final 2 heat races here tonight. Are you ready to get ready to go racing? Your mind is getting ready to be blown. 26 of the best, 2 abreast. Live here in North Carolina, Declan Willis on the pole, Chase Johnson to his outside, McIntyre, Rockmorgan, two rookies in the second row with Underwood and Johnson, and it looks like you fans aren't loud enough to get the green flag yet from Peter the base car. He'll take one more lap around, the lights are off, indicating to us here in the booth that we are getting ready to go racing. The dash for the cash starts right now. $250 could be yours. All you gotta do is complete the races and be up top, number one on the standing. Green flag coming around the corner. Are you ready? Getting ready to scoot and booth and ask for cash in North Wilkesboro. Declan Willis on the pole. Green flag is in the air for the late model stock division. Lap number one is in the book here for the late model stock division, live here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. And there's not an ass sitting down in the seats here tonight. The lights will be on momentarily, but right now we're working with what we got. 26 battling in it out here for a chance to go to victory lane. There's the number 51 of Alan Hammerbeck on the top side of the racetrack. Door to door with Grayson Underwood. He'll get the spot across the front straightaway, diving down into turn 1 and 2. But it was the three-time champion of Chase Johnson taking the race lead off turn 2, flying down the back straightaway. He'll have the race lead over Declan Willis and Ace Throckmorton as Michael Johnson and Alan Hammerbeck work out behind him. Ty McIntosh, Grayson Underwood battle door to door across the front straightaway. If you're not loving what you're seeing, get your shit and get the hell out of here. 5 laps have already been completed this time around inside of the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Trouble off turn 2. Going into turn 3, Conrad and the number 18 of Nate Hall involved in an accident up on top of the racetrack. It looks like both of these guys are still up and moving. We'll have to back that ass up for the instant replay. Green flag is in the air. These guys not giving an inch here tonight. It's Nate Hall and Tim Conrad battling for the 23rd and 22nd position here. Heading down into turn 3. Looks like the 18 just smudges the 36 to the outside wall. There's nothing that Tim Conrad can do. See if we can't get a better look here of exactly what happened to the number 18 of Nate Hall. We back that ass up for the instant replay. Nate Hall working off the exit of turn 2. Behind him was Tim Conrad. Looks like he tries to squeeze himself in the line and right across the front nose of the 35. So we'll back it up one more time here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. See if we cannot ride with Tim Conrad inside of this number 35 machine and see exactly what happened off the exit of turn 2. See the 18 down on the bottom side. Conrad out the gas, trying to give him a little bit of room, but just shoves him harder to the outside wall. Conrad hard on the brake right there. Doesn't look like there was much damage to that 35 machine, if any at all. We'll flip it back here to the main broadcast cam where we are still cleaning up the racetrack, though. Big trouble there on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Nate Hall will receive the EOL penalty there for causing the accident. Flying high above the racetrack here with Billy the Blimp Driver, reminding you folks, thank you guys for tuning out here and making the I-85 Asphalt Series what it has been up to this point. 4 seasons of the late model stock division being kicked off here tonight was something that we never ever expected. We've been doing these broadcasts for about a year and a half now, almost 2 years, and it's been some of the most action-packed racing on the service. If you go over to iRacing.com, $10 a month can get you a subscription. You can find yourself out here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Looks like John Michael Bryan and the rest of these guys will catch the tail end of the field. There'll be double file up ahead with the lights off on top of the pace car. Again, if you were listening earlier today, that's indicating to us that we are getting ready to see the green flag once more. Chase Johnson from Greer, South Carolina, driving this 957 late model. 3-time champion. He's won all 3 championships here inside of the late model stock division. Racing for a payout this time around. How does anybody else shake it? Chase Johnson goes early. He knows as soon as the pace car pulls off, it's all on him. He'll get the great jump around the rest of the field. Heading off the exit of turn 2, live on the British Scoot Racing channel, down into turn 3 and 4. Everybody trying to keep it together here. We got 90 laps to go at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. And the more laps that these guys pick off here tonight, the better the handling on the race cars will go away. And what I mean by that is guys like, we'll call it, just a random guy going all out here tonight will not have a fighting chance when the laps close here tonight. Riding on board the Ty McIntosh number 10 machine here as he works off the exit of turn 2 here at the North Wilkesboro turn 4 at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Heading back down in the line, Alan Hammerbeck in front of the number 24, James Fountain. It's going to be Johnson, Willis, Throckmorton, Johnson, and Underwood the top 5. John Michael Bryant all over the back bumper of Ty McIntosh there. That sneaking number 23 machine. You're riding out the front nose of the boogeyman. Your mom's favorite driver, John Michael Bryant for J Money Motorsports. Part-time this season on the dash for cash for the season 4 late models. He's on the outside line, 3 wide. What a move from the boogeyman. John Michael Bryant making it exciting out here tonight at North Wilkesboro, knowing that he only has a limited opportunities to get a checkered flag here inside of the late models. Alan Hammerbeck turning some of the better lap times on the racetrack right now, and he's stuck in traffic behind the 0-1 of Grayson Underwood. Fountain to the inside of the 51, but Alan Hammerbeck gets the gas off of turn 2. ACR Racing number 100 of Declan Willis from the front half of the field all the way back here to the 4th place spot. He's lost 7 spots here on the Moody Scoot Racing channel already. Guys are starting to fall off quickly. Mike Doyle, Zach Evans, Mason Conklin, and Nate Hall ride back here in the back half of the field. We've seen this time after time after time again in season 3. Those guys would drop to the back half of the field, save their their Hoosier rubber, and make a huge charge late in the race. But right now we're picking up some extremely great racing. Green flag here tonight at North Wilkesboro. Mike Doyle battling door to door here with Andrew Parnell. Parnell moves his Dodge Challenger SRT machine up the racetrack, trying to fall in position behind Mike Doyle. Riding out the front nose of the Apple L Peeler machine of Adam Peeler as he works back here in the 20th place spot, trying to make a move around Chris Schaffner, Dylan Thomas, and these folks in front of him. You hear him way off the gas, just trying to hold on to the race car here in the opening laps, live here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, riding with Phil Bogdan as he rolls to the back bumper of Dakota Pignataro. Dylan Thomas moves him up the racetrack up 2. Reminding everybody, the Dash for the Cash is a 10-race event that these guys will tack on for every 2 weeks for the next coming months. These guys have paid $5 entry fees per car if they wanted to participate here tonight on the late model stock division. That $5 guaranteed you a starting spot within the league and guaranteed you your custom number. Is look at Chris Knighty make a move around the Canadian. Holy cow, the Canadian and Chris Knighty go around Ty McIntosh, who's going backwards here. Back 12 spots to where he's already started. Currently right now, Chris Knighty in this triple new Slim Jim late model up 10 spots, from where he started. He's registered as the Heart Charger Award right now. If the checker flag was to fly next lap, but it won't. We still got about 79, 78 laps to go here on the Moody Scoot Racing channel. It's going to be anybody's ball game here tonight. As Chase Johnson slowly gets pressure from Ace Throckmorton, we're going to throw you down on the racetrack for tonight's first I-85 Asphalt Series, Fast and Loud. caution flag on the racetrack. Trouble. Mason Cothran has wrecked here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We will back that ass up here for the instant replay and take a look as they interrupt the Fast and Loud here tonight. The Duncan, South Carolina driver working back here in the number 09 late model. Looks like he collects the outside wall back there, but looks like he just comes down in front of Andrew Parnell, gets tagged by the 18 and up the racetrack by Nate Hall. Not entirely sure what happened right there with the ace of Mason Cothran. Wasn't much of an ace move. We'll back it up, though. Take a look. Don't want to blame anybody that we don't need to. Riding with Mason Cothran. You'll see out the tail end. You got to see exactly what happened. Parnell definitely did dive bomb it down in there. Cothran has to lock it down as he gets turned around here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We'll back it up one more time. See if we cannot ride out of the front bumper cam or something of Nate Hall to see what happened. As he was the one that got into the back of that number 09 after he got turned around by the SRT Hellcat machine of Andrew Parnell. Nate Hall almost misses it hard at the outside wall. Looks like both of these guys, if not all three of them, were able to get the race cars up and moving. Parnell is going. Cothran is going. He'll lose a lap here underneath the caution flag. We'll move it back to the main broadcast cam. Mike Doyle's worked his way back up through the field. Mason Cothran still out on the racetrack, scored in the 26th position. Andrew Parnell right behind him, and so is Nate Hall. Those three guys received the EOL for aggressive driving and causing the accident there, but allowing us to be underneath the green flag. Chase Johnson, the three-time champion here inside of the I-85 Asphalt Series late model stock division, is out front here after starting in the second place spot. He has led a total, give me just a second. Chase Johnson has led a total of 27 laps already here tonight for Chase Johnson Racing. One of three of these late models in the field here tonight. Kept pressing my exciting button on my camera over here on my SDK car ticker. It kept showing me Alan Hammerbeck in this number 51 late model. He's putting on some aggressive moves there up in the racetrack, able to get his foot down quite well off the exit up the corners. Chase Johnson and Ace Throckmorton going to be in the restart here. Johnson jumps immediately into turn 3 as the pace car pulls in. He knows the jump that he got last time was actually a really, really good one. He tries it again as they head down into turn 1. 70 laps to go here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, heading off the exit of turn 4. The lights are fully illuminated here tonight at Wilkesboro, and it's anybody's ball game here in the marching laps. The Dash for Cash kicks off here tonight at Wilkesboro, and these guys are racing for a payday. But the payday isn't tonight, so when the pay window opens up here in the final 25 laps or so, these guys are going to have to keep their head on their shoulder. What do we mean by that? You don't want to create any kind of unnecessary storylines, as you might be racing these guys for the next 2 to 3 months, as we are able to only participate and race the series every 2 weeks or so. We apologize for that. We are bringing you brand new shit here inside of the Booty Scoot Racing channel, as you currently are watching these guys turn laps here at the Wilkesboro Speedway, single file in a line, is really kind of what these guys want. If you can pick off about 60 green flag laps here and bring us to about lap number 92 or so, then you can start making some crazy ass moves for the round. They're just making moves that you probably necessarily wouldn't make any other time. Brad Matthews in this number 04 gray and orange late model. He's cutting some of the better lap times on the racetrack right now. Behind him is the 100 of Declan Willis, who's had some trouble here tonight. And on the inside of Declan Willis, door to door, is Corey Riptide Tessner. Tessner's able to get his foot down across the gas, and he'll clear Declan Willis off turn 4. Riding inside this Bass Pro Shop 04 late model of Brad Matthews, you see him barely having to give the wheel any kind of input to turn. If anything, he's turning it back to the right. This car is handling very well right now. Does Brad Matthews have something inside of this Back to the Future throwback late model here in the closing laps? One thing I can say, folks, 26 cars does not matter. The racing has been absolute pure up to this point. One caution flag here for the main event. The rest of it has been absolutely action-packed. Green flag racing. Can't forget to not let it go unknown. Chris Knighty from B-Town, Indiana, was 8 spots, is now 12. Chris Knighty moving his way up through the field. He's currently resting in the hard charger spot, up 12 spots after starting in the 24th place spot here tonight. Chase Johnson trying to get away from the rest of the field, but here comes Michael Johnson. In no relation to these two Johnson boys, Chase Johnson on the outside, Michael Johnson on the inside, second row, door-to-door with Ace Throckmorton. As James Bauer looks to make the move on the inside, caution flag is out here in North Wilkesboro. Caution flag is out here for Andrew Parnell. Not entirely sure what went on with the three car of Andrew Parnell down on the bottom side of the racetrack. The caution flag was already out then. So we will back that ass up here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel and get the instant replay cam up on our screen. What has taken place back here between Nate Hall and Andrew Parnell? If they've tangled for the third time here tonight, a right rear hook from Nate Hall to Andrew Parnell. Andrew Parnell's not going to be happy with that one. We'll ride out the tail end of this number 3 machine. Take a look and see what happened. We'll see if we can get a look at that right rear. Contact definitely made to the right rear. Shifts Andrew Parnell head on to the outside wall. Can he get this Hellcat slowed down fast enough? Down on the pit lane, Andrew Parnell will go. We'll bring it back to the main broadcast cam as cleanup continues here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, do we get any takers here on the pit lane to try to service up their race cars? If they have any damage, we're going to want to have to try to do it now. Heading off the exit of turn 4. Caution flag out here for the third time here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Some action-packed racing going on. We'll bring up the race recap up to this point. We're almost at the halfway point. Lap number 41 being completed underneath the yellow flag currently at the moment. Right now, Showtime Chase Johnson is scheduled as the race leader. We've had 3 cautions for about 10 laps of the current 41 being turned. We've had 1 lead change. That was Chase Johnson from the outside spot that he started in to the race lead around the front person of Declan Willis, who has elected to go backwards here in the opening laps of tonight's Season 4 kickoff race. Declan Willis from the first place spot down to the 10th place spot, currently down 9 spots from where he started, battling a little bit of handling conditions inside of this number 100 late model. As I was listening down to some of the driver chat, they told him to adjust down on the brake bites as you ride on board with Declan Willis, who have his teammate to the inside of him of Grayson Underwood, getting ready to take the restart here at Wilkesboro. Chase Johnson, Michael Johnson, door-to-door, no relation between these two guys. Johnson will fire off a little bit further forward this time through 3 and 4 than he has to the previous other times, and we're back racing here at Wilkesboro. These guys not giving each other an inch here tonight, but we picked off some 30-something odd laps of green flag racing up to this point, and you can't be mad about it. Everybody being kind of clean here tonight. Here comes the 04 of Brad Matthews. Trying to get a good angle here of the 04 battling door-to-door with James Fountain. These two guys haven't separated yet. James Fountain, this Golf number 24 late model with Busch Light on board, coming to try his luck in here the full time on the Booty Scoot Racing channel inside of the late model stock division. James Fountain, a 2-time back-to-back Whelen Modified Division champion here in the I-85 Asphalt Series. Doing a little bit better here in the late model stock division. He's up 7 spots to where he started. Not a bad night to kick it off. If these guys will keep it clean, folks, I have no problem throwing you down on the racetrack for tonight's I-85 Asphalt Series. Fast and loud, Chase Johnson leads it here at Wilkesboro over Michael Johnson. There's no relation between these two drivers. So does Michael Johnson put the bumper to Chase Johnson when he gets there, getting ready to put you down inside of the race cars for the fast and loud. Caution flag right as he was getting ready to come back to the live broadcast cam. Trouble. Not entirely sure what just happened here on the Moody Scoot Racing channel. Mason Cothran looks like he may have been involved in the accident as well. It looks like it's got us on John Michael Bryan, and these folks will quit up and wait for the back that ass up instant replay cam. Diving down in the turn, looks like going to be 3 and 4. The boogeyman tight with the 36, gets a little bit loose from Grayson Underwood, and that's when the caution flag flew. But the caution flag was way up here ahead of us, so that wasn't even what we were looking for. We were looking for the ace of Mason Cothran, running for his life here, trying to get away from the 18 of Nate Hall. Nate Hall runs right into the back of him. That's 3 incidents here tonight for Nate Hall. Not entirely sure what he was thinking there. He just absolutely runs over Mason Cothran. We'll back that ass up here. That one looked like it did some significant damage there to Mason Cothran's machine. You're riding on board Nate Hall as he comes down into turn 1 and 2. And Wilkesboro gets to the right rear of Mason Cothran, sends him around here in turn 2, and hard to the outside wall goes Mason. So some unfortunate circumstances there for Mason Cothran as he was turned around there by Nate Hall. Nate Hall involved in his 3rd separate incident here tonight back on the broadcast cam. He will receive the EOL line there. What do you think about the fast and loud there, folks? Getting loud here at Wilkesboro. The fans are back on their feet underneath the caution flag. It's always crazy when you get to smell the fumes of the tires and the wreck and the fuel, everything like that. Smells absolutely wonderful. Andrew Parnell will be the lucky dog this time around. He'll get his lap back here on the Moody Scoot Racing channel. Bark, bark, bark for the number 3 of Andrew Parnell. So as we continue to ride around underneath the pace flaps here behind Peter LeVay's car, you're looking out the tail end cam of Peter. Chase Johnson on that green and blue car on the inside with Michael Johnson to the outside. No relation between these two drivers. The second row field with Brad Matthews and James Fountain. Those two guys have been absolutely going at it here for the last couple laps. You see everybody else working their way to the tail end of the line. Zach Evans working his way up slowly through the field. It'll be nice to see how he does here on the long run. Chase Johnson will be able to fire off whenever he wants. A green flag back in the air here at Wilkesboro. Nobody going to give an inch here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel. Heading off the back straightaway. One's big loose up the racetrack. That's the 72 of Ace Throckmorton. He's able to hold on to it, though. Bring it back down in the line in front of the number 51 of Alan Hammerbeck. As Alan Hammerbeck slowly works his way up the front half of the field. Shocked to see this. The number 51 of Alan Hammerbeck in this shiny red machine here working his way down the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4. The Hammer, Alan Hammerbeck, hammering his way up through the field. Currently at the moment you're riding on board with the number 51 as he tries to run down the number 36 in front of him, the 72 in front of him of Ace Throckmorton. This Alan Hammerbeck 51's running on pure horsepower and bald eagle piss. Dylan Thomas is door-to-door here with Grayson Underwood. This battle right here is not looking like it's going anywhere anytime soon. So we'll keep our eye on it right here, get you a little bit closer to it. Grab another beer, light another cigarette. We've only reached about 38 laps remaining here in tonight's opening race at the North Wilkesboro Speedway, live here on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel. This number 23 machine of John Michael Bryant started off good here tonight. Has fallen back a couple more spots to where he started. We were listening in to some of these drivers there. You guys can't hear it, but I can. Trouble off of turn 4. We got one backwards. It's Chris Schaffner. Did Chris Schaffner get it off of the racetrack in time? No. Caution flag is out. We'll back that ass up here for the instant replay. I think we've seen it before. The caution flag could get thrown from the admin. Backing it up here with Chris Schaffner inside of this number 22 late model on the inside here. Battling door-to-door there with Zach Evans. And it looks like he'll just get into Zach Evans, shoot him up the racetrack and get checked up there. And Phil Bogdan will send it back. Some great track awardance there from everybody else. See if we can't ride on board the Zach Evans machine right out the nose. We were looking out earlier of the 6th machine. We'll take a look. Contact up the racetrack right there. It looks like Zach Evans has no choice but to just get down on the brake. Things happen quick here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway, and Chris Schaffner's parked backwards like a protester. Let's take a look. Gets up the racetrack there, gets tagged in the right rear, turned around here on the Booty Scoot Racing Channel and backwards into turn 2. The crowd will absolutely rip and roar. Whoa, do not throw your beer cans onto the racetrack. We'll have to escort that fan right out of the track. Ladies and gentlemen, back here on the main broadcast canvas, Chase Johnson has led every lap up to this point here. The 5th caution flag here tonight will allow, Andrew Parnell and this number 3 machine, bark, to grab another lap back as he is currently scored down in the 23rd place position. No takers down on the pit lane to service these race cars, knowing that the pay window opens up very, very, very soon. There is absolutely no reason why you would want to try to give up the track position now, especially when the closing lap pay window opens up around lap 25. But guys like John Michael Bryant, who you're riding on board with right now, this 23 machine, John Michael Bryant, not running full-time like the rest of these guys. So John Michael Bryant knows that he's fighting for a championship trophy here tonight. He wants to make his name known inside of the I-85 Asphalt Series. He was the point standing leader in Season 3 before he had to go to part-time. But it was this 97 machine of Chase Johnson that took the championship last season. Can he hold on for about 32 more laps here at Wilkesboro? Green flag back in the air here for race number 1 of that Ashford Cat. Door-to-door there to 36 and the number 100. Declan Willis battle door-to-door. That's Luca Torcott. Luca Torcott, the Canadian, trying to make his way here, battling a bunch of Americans here. He's the only Canadian in the field. He gets chucked up the racetrack right there. As here comes Dylan Thomas down on the bottom side of the racetrack. That's the 03 machine. Dylan Thomas was trying to save the storyline for later, but he won't let me. 15 spots up from where he started for the 03 machine. He scored in the 11th place position after starting in the 26th place spot here tonight. Dylan Thomas from Denison, Texas, working his way up the field, trying to make something shake here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Wow, we got one upside down. It's James Fountain. He's on his lid. Holy shit. A barrel roll for James Fountain. Holy shit. Holy shit, folks. We got one on their lid. It's James Fountain. The contact came way before then. We'll back it up. Fountain battling some internet connection issues. Blinks in, blinks out. He's backwards with nowhere to go. Conrad gets into him and a barrel roll for Fountain. What a fantastic wreck here at turn 3. Never in a million years did I think we'd get one up on their lid. This is going to be a wild ride, folks. Up and over right here on the turn 4 exit in the restart zone. Fountain, it takes another huge shot there at the end as well. That'll do it for the 24 machine, up and over on his lid after crashing with its teammate Corey Tesner with nowhere to go. We'll take a look. Fountain just gets wrecked off the corner. Fountain nowhere to go and upside down in a barrel roll here at North Wilkesboro. We'll back it up one more time. We'll see if he can't ride out the front nose of Corey Riptide Tesner. He had the most epic look at this wreck right here. So red flag will be out here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Cleanup continuing. Fountain down on pit lane. He will climb out for that race car. He's indicated to the safety team that he is A-OK. Chris Schaffner will be registering the lucky dog this time around on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Cautions have breeded cautions. And bark, bark, bark for the High Point, North Carolina driver of Chris Schaffner. Ladies and gentlemen, Alan Hammerbeck continuing to work his way up through the field. A strong opening night here for the number 51 of the Hammer. Alan Hammerbeck looking to make something shake here in the 4th place spot. We'll go ahead and bring up tonight's remaining schedule here for the Season 4 of the Late Model Stock Division, headed to the South Boston Speedway 2 weeks from now. It's going to be one awesome show there in Virginia. I think I've seen a couple Virginia drivers out there in the field, so a couple hometown races for some guys. We got Chris Schaffner having a hometown race here tonight, and then I can't wait to get over to that Five Flag Speedway. That is going to be one hell of a show. Back down here on the main broadcast cam, Peter the Base car has the lights off on top of the race car, door to door. Chase Johnson and Michael Johnson. Brad Matthews and Alan Hammerbeck round out the front 2 rows. John Michael Bryant, Ace Throckmorton in the 3rd row. This is shaping up to be an epic finish here tonight at Wilkesboro. Absolutely no intentional wrecking for the win. So we'll see how these guys elect to play it, knowing that you're going to need clean finishes, counting the points here for that extra cap. Working up the exit of turn 2. Chase Johnson has the lead, and he'll clear Michael Johnson off the exit of turn 2. These guys, again, are not going to give an inch here tonight. Looking at the middle way throughout the field, riding up the front nose of Alan Hammerbeck, stuck on that outside line. To the inside line of him. Everybody trying to charge right there behind him. He'll get clear this time around into turn 1 and 2. To jump down the nose of the 3rd 72, of Ace Throckmorton. Here comes Luke Torcott, the Canadian, on the outside. 3 wide down the back straightaway here at Wilkesboro. Whoa! Contact made there from Adam Peeler to that inside car, the 72 of Ace Throckmorton. That'll send him backwards. Declan Willis on the outside. He's able to get his foot down on the outside line. Timothy Conrad only going to make his way back here to the front half of the video. Talked about the 35 Timothy Conrad machine earlier with all the sponsorship on his suit. He said he had some speed inside of this 35-foot weekend Woodman. Late Model 3 wide down into turn 1 and 2. Pig Notaro goes up the top side of the racetrack. Chris Knighty trying to plug the hole there, trouble down the back straightaway. Contact's made and they're able to hold on to it. A awesome race here tonight, folks, on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Closing laps here with 20 laps to go the next time around here. Knighty has sailed to the top side of the racetrack. He's found some speed up there, and he will not be denied in this Slim Jim Triple Deuce. Michael Bryant door-to-door. Contact made from the hammer of Alan Hammerbeck, the boogeyman. The hammer going at it down the back straightaway. Contact was made into one. How does John Michael Bryant repay the favor here into 3 and 4? He drives extra deep. Can he clear the 51 off 4? Woo! Barely able to clear right there. That was a close call. Contact made into 3 and 4. Up the racetrack goes to number 36. And he's able to save it, but the caution flag flies anyway. Great awareness right there from the admin. They were quick to the button. Back it up here for the instant replay cam to see exactly what happened. We'll have to back it up one more time and show you what happened to Declan Willis. The Lane Woods, these guys are battling out here. The 36 gets caught in the left rear. They can scoop up the racetrack right there, but he's able to hold on to it. That's Luke Torcott, the Canadian. Getting turned around right there. What a save, though, from that number 36. See if we can't ride on board with the 36, of Luca Torcott. This should be a hell of a save. Being able to keep it up and moving. What a save right there from Luca Torcott. 7th caution flag here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Slowly waiting for the pay window to open up. We'll bring back up the main broadcast cam here as we do another race recap report here. Lap number 85 being completed this time around underneath the caution flag with Chase Johnson as our race leader. We've had 7 cautions for 25 laps in 2 separate different lead changers. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see what happens here as the caution flag comes out here in the closing laps, so less than 20 laps to go. With actually a great caution flag there, able to keep the field from piling in there to what could have been an absolute disaster. But here's an interesting thing happening right now. Dylan Thomas will bring up the position, the start position. Dylan Thomas is up 16 spots from where he started. He's in contention for the Hard Charger Award right now. Currently would be going home with the 0-3 if he could hold on to it. But that guy right behind him, Mike Doyle, is up 14 spots from where he started. So Mike Doyle needing to get around what's going to be the 0-3 of Dylan Thomas in the closing laps here at Wilkesboro to try to secure himself some bonus points with the Hard Charger Award here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel live at North Wilkesboro. A couple South Carolina drivers rounding out the top 5 here, as well as a Virginia driver, a Canadian up here as well. Got tons of different regions of racing going on here. Want to gladly appreciate everybody that took their time out of the year to come tune in and watch us race here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. I also want to take the time out to thank everybody inside of the league that came on board, sponsored, and threw in some sponsorship money to increase the purse for these guys to race. We also want to thank you guys for tuning in here on the TikTok channel. There's been 16 of you live to the whole race up to this point, and we cannot thank you guys enough. It'll be Chase Johnson with Michael Johnson in the race lead, coming to the Geico restart zone with less than 20 laps to go. Green flag back in the air here. Wilkesboro. Chase Johnson fires up quick. Here comes the boogeyman, John Michael Bryant. He's definitely going to be looking for a place to go down on that bottom side of the racetrack. They make it 3 wide around Michael Johnson. Contacts made there with Brad Matthews. This 04's had some speed in it here tonight, and we've talked about it for a little bit. 14 laps to go. Everybody trying to hold on to their race cars, walking off the exit of turn 4. Get into the closing laps here in these races in the late model stock division, especially with the much green flag racing that we've had. We've had our fair share of cautions, don't get it twisted, but these guys have actually did a great job here tonight. Alan Hammerbeck trying to clear around Adam Taylor. He'll do so across the front straightaway. As the tires begin to wear here inside of the late model stock division, these guys are going to have to hold on to it here. Chase Johnson is going all out here, trying to bring home a win here in season 4. Chase Johnson can win the race here tonight. He will be the only driver that has won a race in every single season of the late model. It'll be 10 laps to go here at North Wilkesboro. Chase Johnson out front with the race lead. We'll get you down on the racetrack for one more final I-85 Asphalt Series Best in Line. and Michael Johnson can't separate each other from second and third place spot. This has allowed Chase Johnson to stretch out to almost a 2-second lead down the back straightaway. Brad Matthews, Michael Johnson door-to-door for the second place spot. The Boogeyman underneath attack from Declan Willis here in the closing laps. Nobody giving it into the closing laps. Torcott on the inside of Alan Hammerbeck trying to make something shake. Dakota Pingataro in this 99 with Tim Conrad, who's worked his way up 9 spots from saving a little bit of Goodyear. Hoosier rubber. Mike Doyle gets that outside wall. It's some way to go and 3 laps to go. This time around, Mike Doyle is going to have to hold on to it here. He's moved to the top side of the racetrack. Slowly giving it a little bit of time. John Michael Bryant chasing him down the racetrack. That's Lane Woods getting around the Boogeyman, but the Boogeyman will come back on the inside, make contact with him. White flag is in the air. Next time around for these guys on the Moody Scoot Racing channel, the Boogeyman more contact with Lane Woods. But it'll be Chase Johnson down into turn 3 and 4. Caution flag is out in the air. Mike Doyle's around. Mike Doyle is around here on the Moody Scoot Racing channel, coming to the white. Chase Johnson almost had it wrapped up. No. We'll take a look and see what happened. Mike Doyle of the racetrack there gets a little bit loose, stacks him up in turn 2. There's a parking lot. We'll back that ass up here one more time. Take a look and see exactly what happened with the 0-0 Mike Doyle running down here to turn 1 and 2. Cooks it a little bit too hard, gets it to the back of Alan Hammerbeck, ships himself off the racetrack, and everybody tries to lock it up, and there's just a caution fuck fest over here with 1 lap to go. Chase Johnson was so damn close to getting that white flag and almost having it wrapped up here tonight on the Moody Scoot Racing channel. Now, we'll have to survive the overtime. The 97 of Chase Johnson has been here before, though. He's been there, done that. Chase Johnson Racing has brought him a bad, fast 957 machine here tonight. Greer, South Carolina, Chase Johnson, a 3-time champion. They'll have to beat here if they want the win. Brad Matthews needs to make sure that he is alert on this restart. We've seen from the previous things before is Chase Johnson jump early in the restart zone like he's done before and get himself out to that little bit of a lead that he can get, knowing that he only needs 2 laps. Brad Matthews cannot be asleep at the wheel when the green flag drops here in just a moment for the overtime. Michael Johnson will be in the 3rd place spot here on the restart. He's looking for his 2nd ever I-85 Asphalt Series win. We'll have a shot at it here in the overtime. Lane Woods with his carbon fiber helmet on. That's pretty badass, not going to lie about it. On board with Lane Woods in the number 92. He's worked his way up through the field. Currently working his way up to the field. You see the Boogeyman there behind him. The Boogeyman was not happy with the way that he was raced by Lane Woods. Woods will have a shot at the win here. The Boogeyman, John Michael Bryant, riding on board with John Michael. John Michael will have a shot at the victory here in the overtime. He's not won a race yet here inside of the I-85 Asphalt Series. Have a chance at it. Green-white checker style, 2 chances at it. Ladies and gentlemen, if these guys come around and get the white flag, no more caution flags can be called, and the next flag will end the race. However, if these guys cannot get the completion of the 1st lap, 1 more chance at the overtime here at Wilkesboro. Chase Johnson fired it back off. Green flag is in the air here for the overtime. Michael Johnson and Brad Matthews will have 1 shot at that back bumper of Chase Johnson here on the opening lap. Chase Johnson will lead him down the back straightaway and fly down into turn 3 and 4. The Boogeyman gets sent 3 wide here with the number 92. White flag is in the air, presented by AFL.com here for the Nats for the catch. Live at the North Wilkesboro Series here, heading up a turn 2. Johnson, Matthews, and Michael Johnson, as well as Lane Woods, battle for the win here in Wilkesboro. But it's going to be showtime. Chase Johnson coming off the exit of turn 3 and 4, using lessons learned over 3 seasons to win the opening race here in Wilkesboro. With trouble up at turn 3 and 4, 3 cars parked down there on the bottom, still trying to work their way across the line. It's going to be Chase Johnson here tonight at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. The 3-time champion here in the late model stock division for The I-85 Asphalt Series leads 104 laps, including every single one of them. From Greer, South Carolina, Chase Johnson races. Chase Johnson wins the race here at Wilkesboro. He'll burn it down on the front straightaway for you fans. Chase Johnson backs it around here. He will come back across the front straightaway and do his victory celebration lap here and celebrate with the fans. Chase Johnson bringing about the camera here. Whoa, RP headphone users. Chase Johnson going to rip it down here at Wilkesboro. Ladies and gentlemen, this will be Chase Johnson's 14th late model stock victory of all time for 4 seasons now. He will be the only winner inside of the I-85 Asphalt Series that has won a race in every single season. Chase Johnson, 3-time champion, starts off season 4 strong. He'll grab the victory here tonight at Wilkesboro. We'll send it to a quick commercial break. We got some guys down there on the front straightaway. Looks like they want some driver interviews. We'll be back here in just a moment on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. You're not going to want to miss a thing. Chase Johnson wins the opening race here for the Dash for the Cash late models. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here live on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We are live here at North Wilkesboro for the Dash for Cash. Race number 1 of the late model stock division. Chase Johnson has won the race here in the opening race at North Wilkesboro, and he looks like he is about to climb out of that race car, and he will have a chance at going at it. Ladies and gentlemen, we pull in here into victory lane with the number 5 of Chase Johnson. Chase, kind of walk us through your race here tonight at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Definitely had a hold on there to it late. Looks like you were going to close it all the way out, and the caution flag flies with 2 laps to go coming to the white. Kind of walk us through what you had to experience out the front of that number 5 late model for your 14th I-85 Asphalt Series late model victory.
First and foremost, just want to thank everybody for getting us here to the race. It's been a kind of a hectic off season, trying to get all the cars together, but yeah, man, the race itself played out kind of not like how I expected. It was a really good race in my opinion. I feel like if we could have got some green flag run there at the end, I think Michael and maybe Brad would have had something for me, but who knows. Thankfully we can get another win. I'm glad that we can put the 957 in victory lane. Crazy race. I really like what you guys have put together for this season here in I-85. It's a whole different ball game, it feels like. So, I just want to thank you guys for putting it on, and we really enjoyed it, and look forward to the next one here in a couple weeks.
And as my broadcast partner, Neil Root, the third, pulls into the booth here. Neil, if you want to ask Chase a question, a dominating performance there from the number 957 here in the HendrickCars.com. If you got a question for Chase, and Chase, if you want to, after he gets asked you, if you want to go ahead and salute any of your sponsors, an awesome win here tonight at Wilkesboro.
Yeah, I had to rattle up all the drivers out here. They all wanted to hang out and try to get to Nicholas Maynard, I had to get him out of here. But Chase, great job tonight. Car was fast. He dominated right from the beginning, led the most laps, carrying over your success from last season. Is there anything you're looking forward to throughout this year that that you weren't able to achieve last year in the late model stocks?
Really, man, the game plan this year is we just want to be really, really consistent. We're really looking forward for top fives or bust. We're not really trying to win the race. We want to be consistent with the top five, and I feel like if we can do that each and every race, I think that'll put us in a really good points battle or points position there at the end. And that's the name of the game this season is points. So that's what we're shooting for, is just to be consistent. Tonight we were just looking to lead half the race. So I was going to lap 51. Whatever happened after 51 happened. So really glad we could just pull off the win, man. It's really love racing these late model stocks. Really, I love the league, and that was a hell of a race. Want to thank STI Trucking, Chevrolet, Valvoline, Longhorn Chassis for getting us a late model stock on the asphalt. Really fast cars every week. Want to thank them guys for keep putting us on the track fast. We ain't really got to worry about speed. So I really just appreciate it.
And we appreciate the 957 of Chase Johnson as he'll climb back into his late model here in victory lane. The HendrickCars.com wins his 14th race here in the I-85 Asphalt Series. Neil, go ahead and see if we can't bring in the second place runner-up finisher here tonight, driver of the number 04 Snap-on late model of Brad Matthews. As Brad Matthews climbs from his race car, Brad, kind of walk us through your race here. We were watching you early in tonight's broadcast about lap 10 or so. You were really starting to move your way up through the field, cutting some faster lap times than the guys in front of you. This Snap-on Back to the Future 04 late model was bad fast here tonight. Kind of walk us through what you've seen out the front windshield of your late model and how you think the season's going to progress forward here, and what did you think on your overall take of the guys in the field tonight?
Well, I just have to thank my team, SS Smithy Speed Shop and Throckmorton Racing, for giving me a nice car. I mean, I had a blast with you guys, first time racing this season. At the beginning, I thought some guys were saving a little too much. Kind of didn't really push my car, but had a good run. Came up to the field ever so slightly and got the second. Me and Michael had a good run there. Couldn't ask for a better race. Pretty good race for being my first season with y'all, and it was a blast. Can't thank y'all enough.
Well, we're glad you had fun here, Brad. New guy in the league here, a little bit on the younger side. We see that. We're having a lot more younger guys coming in. Down south, late model racing in real life, we have a lot of young kids getting started into the sport. Showing raw speed. You definitely showed raw speed starting P7 tonight and climbing your way to second place, battling with a veteran of Michael Johnson, putting on a great clean battle, showed a lot of respect, so we like to see that. It's always good to see the younger drivers showing the respect to the, more veterans in the league and stuff like that. Other than that, anything you're looking forward to for the rest of this year?
Just looking forward to getting the nice points. My main goal today was maybe a top 10, top 5, and we exceeded that goal, so hopefully this season I can progress and get a little bit more top 3s, and hopefully I can finish out strong at the end of the season.
And we appreciate you, Brad Matthews, and I'm just curious, how old are you by chance?
Just about turned 13.
13. Ladies and gentlemen, a 13-year-old Brad Matthews. That's crazy, Neil.
Well, Brad, thank you for coming. We're glad to have you here. We can't wait to see your success throughout the year.
Yep, thank you guys. That was a great race.
Ladies and gentlemen, that'll be the 13-year-old 04 of Brad Matthews, bringing home the second-place runner-up spot here tonight. And see, we'll scoot down here to our third-place finisher. See if we can't bring him in as he climbs out of the race car of Michael Johnson. Michael, walk us through your night here. Actually, you're one of the guys we can walk us through your 2 days of racing here in the Dash for Cash for the I-85 Asphalt Series on the brand new format, and what you experienced here in the night in the late models. A epic race. It was fairly clean for the most part. You kept your 40 machine out of trouble into the front half of the pack. The caution flag came out there late. It looked like you had maybe a shot at it. Just kind of walk us through what this 40 needed to get it done.
Yeah, the 40 was a great car. I just want to thank my sponsors, PSR and Pace-O-Matic. My dad is the engine builder for this car. This is the first late model car that he's built, and he put one hell of a car together. But I think ultimately it was my doing of I should have saved more. I pushed it between like lap 65 and 85, and probably should have waited some. The last few cautions, I just ran out of right front grip, and Brad raced me clean. He passed me clean, and yeah, just should have saved more. But overall, great 2 cars. I can't be more happy.
Yeah, we had him up here. Obviously, he finished P second tonight to your P third. 13 years old, Michael. How does that make you feel? Not that he finished the spot ahead of you, but just the fact that you can have this younger generation come into the sport, real life iRacing, and show respect to a guy that's been around this league for somewhat time, earned the respects of all the other guys. How does that make you feel seeing the younger generation get involved into this stuff?
I think it's great. I love to see younger kids, getting these full-size cars nowadays, and just get out there and compete, and not just go out there with like little to no experience, but and like people expect them to like wreck, but these kids are good nowadays. I mean, hats off to Brad. I mean, he beat me fair and square. I mean, I can't say anything about it. Nothing else. So I'm just happy that kids like that can get into this sport and just succeed. I mean, I I work on Carter McMurray's car, and he's 14 years old, and he's competing with Ryan Newman and Luke Baldwin. So it's really good to see.
That's pretty badass right there. The number 40 of Michael Johnson bringing home a top 5 here to kick off the Dash for Cash series. We appreciate Michael Johnson stopping here tonight for the North Wilkesboro Speedway. We'll scoot down here to the number 92 of Lane Woods as he climbs from his race car looking for an interview here inside of the I-85 Asphalt Series. Driver the number 92, Lane Woods, joins us now. Lane, kind of walk us through your race here tonight. Last season, you came in full-time. You were, I think you missed the first couple races, but you had some tremendous speed. You're a 2-time Maxxis champion racing here inside of the I-85 Asphalt Series. We've seen you go backwards early in tonight's event. They're late, though. You jumped up 10 spots from where you started and finished in the top 4 spot. Kind of walk us through what you've seen out the front windshield and how you think your Dash for Cash series is going to go this year.
Yeah, ACR Racing had a plan, and me and Trace Daniel qualified in the back, and yeah, we kind of just saved tires the first couple 80 laps, 70 laps, and we kind of just saved and rode in the back and gently worked our way up through the field, and just really proud of ACR. We had a pretty good season last year, but wasn't good enough, and we had some 2 new guys joining us this year, and just really happy how he turned out. Declan, I think he finished behind us, and yeah, kind of just saved and worked our way up and kind of just pushed. I think we had something for Chase, and just ran out of time.
Yeah, so we saw you here last night also with the modifieds. Something new for you. You ran the late models with us all last year. Um, what's the difference here, you think, with running from, the modified on Monday nights, then jumping back into a late model on Tuesdays? Obviously, the race last night didn't go as clean as we got tonight, which is, we like to see that. But what do you feel like is the difference? Something that you might struggle with, with the comparison of the modified to the late model?
Yeah, definitely in the modifieds, you don't gotta save as much and as the late models you do. The modifieds got a little bit of wider tire on the cars and more horsepower, but um, yeah, it's a big difference. But I drive a late model stock on the weekend, so I hop in the late model and pretty and I know what I'm doing And so in the modifieds, I don't think I'm going to be that good, and because I'm unexperienced in those cars. But um, yeah, I guess just the horsepower really, and the type of tire or size of tire that you're running.
We appreciate that, Lane Woods. You'll bring home the top 4 spot here tonight for ACR Racing in your number 92. And we gladly appreciate you joining us for the broadcast here for your interview. We'll go ahead and scoot down here to the top 5 driver here tonight. Declan Willis, the other ACR Racing late model, bringing home the top 5 here from South Boston, Virginia, as Declan joins us here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Declan, kind of walk us through your race here tonight. The Dash for Cash opens up here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. You kind of got beaten banged earlier tonight in your Gardner Marsh 100 late model. You were one of the faster ones that we had last season in Season 3. Kind of walk us through what you just needed out of your late model here tonight to go to victory lane.
Yeah, we try to save. We start on pole, try to save some, and I was trying to set my own pace. I was trying to fall back and let everybody by, get some clean air, and fell back to I think maybe 11th, 12th, just turning some laps by myself. Then I tried to make my way back up through the field, and we got a couple mistakes in front of me and stuff, so it made me fall back up. But we came back up through the field, finished out 5th. It was a pretty good race.
Yeah, so Danny, we saw you. We just had your teammate in here. You got the job done last night in the modifieds. I just asked him what's the difference of the 2 cars. We're not gonna go into the whole comparison again with you, but you got the job done last night. Today, you had the speed out front early. Saved some tire, which is always good to see. As these long runs and most of these races throughout the season are going to be about 100 lap plus, so you're going to have to save that right front a lot. What's something that you're looking forward to for the rest of the season?
Yeah, just trying to keep it consistently, trying to get a lot of points. Hopefully we can win the point series this year. Finished out second last year in the late models, so it'll be pretty cool if we could get it the late models this year. And right now we're doing pretty good in the modified, so hopefully we can do pretty good in there too. It'd be pretty cool if we can double up on them.
And we appreciate you, Declan, from South Boston, Virginia, bringing home a top 5 here for ACR Racing. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the number 100. We'll scoot down here to the 6th place finisher, driver the number 23, Stukin late model from Greer, South Carolina, for J Money Motorsports, your mom's favorite driver, as the fans will go crazy with the Boogeyman. John, kind of walk us through your race here tonight, running part-time on the I-85 Asphalt Series, Dash for Cash late model stock division. This 23 has some speed in it here tonight for sure. You finished 3 spots from where you started, but you cracked that top 3 several times here tonight. Door banging back and forth there with a couple of these drivers. Kind of walk us through what you've seen out the front half of this Gorilla Mind late model.
Yeah, man, just, first off, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Haven't been able to run these cars, just scheduling and funding these cars here, but I forgot how fun they were to drive and got out there beating and banging with Lane Woods there at the end. I had to let him know I enjoyed that. That's fun stuff. I felt like we were good there. Got held up by some slower cars for a little bit. Finally got by them and just didn't have enough tire to do anything more than what we did. Appreciate the folks with Gorilla Mine, Stukin, Creekwater Whiskey, Rogue, everything they do for us over here at the 23 team. And never know when Boogeyman might pop up again.
Yeah, obviously you just said we don't know when you're going to get back here. It's always a pleasure having you in here. You're one of our longest tenured drivers here in the I-85 Asphalt Series. You run around in the other series that we put on this program. It's always great seeing you back. When I did my time here, I always loved racing with you. One of those hard racers, but fair racers. So, we always like to give you that respect for that. It's always a pleasure having you here with us, and can't wait to see you back.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate y'all having me. If it's okay with y'all, when the interviews are done, I'm gonna go put on a little show for the fans to come out here, and especially all the hot moms out there.
It doesn't matter to me. We'll have a post-race show at the conclusion. It is, John, you can do whatever you would like. A lot of the guys went to the garage area. We appreciate you joining in here tonight. Big contact made out of the front nose. John Michael Bryant, the boogeyman, your mom's favorite driver, will be signing autographs after tonight's event on the infield near Victory Lane. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll be the number 23 of John Michael Bryant. I believe we have one more contestant looking for an interview. That is the driver of this SRT Dodge Challenger of Andrew Parnell. Andrew, kind of walk us through your night here. Got a lot to ask you. Several times you were on our replay cam here tonight. You were spun backwards, some of it not your own doing. But we got to talk about this. Coming back to the 16th place finish, up 5 spots from where you started. This Dodge Challenger SRT late model was stupid fast here tonight. Kind of walk us through it.
I was just taking my time coming in and out of the corners. I want to say thank you for having me out on the track. I try to just follow the faster cars and figure out what they're doing and stick to them, and it ended up working out for me there at the end.
Yeah, Andrew, I'm new to this. I might not know much about you, but you came in here, pretty late. You must have had a trailer mishap on the hauler on your way here, which is never fun. But otherwise, you put on a pretty good performance. Had a couple issues, which is going to happen with this many cars. We had an outstanding 26 car field here. But for the most part, you kept your head cool and you were able to climb back up after, being pretty much in a couple of wrecks here to finish P16. What was going through your mind, as the race went on and, it just kind of wasn't going your way all day, but you were able to, recap and, still get a decent point tonight?
I just had to keep telling myself to hold the line and watch my inside and outside. I did get caught up a couple times from the other cars, so I just had to switch it up to more cautious, safe driving to get faster lap times.
And we appreciate you joining in here. Andrew Parnell brings home the 16th place spot here tonight at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. It looks like that'll do it for all of the driver interviews here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. And it looks like Neil, successful night here tonight at North Wilkesboro. I shall say if that 26 cars piled out the event here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, looking to make something shape for the Dash for Cats. Kind of walk us through what you've seen up there. You was in the admin booth kind of controlling the race here tonight. Do you want to kind of tell us what you've seen? We've seen somebody up and over on their lid.
Yeah, otherwise I would like to give you huge props. Thank you for everyone watching this program. It means a lot to me and Nick here and all the drivers putting on these shows. Last night we didn't have too much of a good race. We had some good battling once we got green, but tonight outstanding. Couple cautions, it's going to happen. It's late model stock racing. These right fronts are burning off. Some guys know how to save, some guys don't know how to save, but all around great night, great program. You did an absolutely beautiful job in the booth. Sounded spectacular. There's nothing more I can ask for. I hope we get 9 more of these because a race like that is going to put on highlight after highlight after highlight.
And highlight after highlight after highlight is definitely what we got here tonight, Neil. And speaking of 9 more of those things, we'll pull up the schedule here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. And I don't know which one's your favorite track you're looking forward to going to, but as a previous racer inside of the I-85 Asphalt Series, we're headed to South Boston 2 weeks from now. Southern National is always a good one, but I got my eye on that Oxford Plain race. We've never been there before on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, and with that, literally circle racetrack, it's going to be one hell of a show.
Yeah, Oxford Plains is definitely going to be one to watch on this program because you think blowing out tires on I-85 is a bad thing? Wait till we get to Oxford Plains. These drivers are going to be wearing that right front, wearing that left front. Their cars are going to be beat up. We might even see a car flying through the air. You never know with those light poles. But the one on my highlight here is going to be Hickory. We're going old school. We're going to go to one of the longest tenured tracks in NASCAR history. Late model country there.
Late model country for sure, Neil.
Late model country. Other than that, the schedule looks beautiful. Got a couple hard tracks here for these guys. Southern National is going to be a tight one. We did have a pretty good program there last season, but I think Hickory is going to be the one to watch.
Hickory definitely going to be the one to watch. We'll film through the final results here real quick on the Booty Scoot Racing channel before we end tonight's broadcast programming. Looks like, Neil, I'll go ahead. I'll knock out the first 12 or so, and you can take it on there from down from there. What a show here tonight for the Dash for Cash. Chase Johnson wins his 14th total I-85 Asphalt Series late model stock win, but he'll win his first one here in Season 4. P2 went to the number 04 of Brad Matthews. A excellent run here tonight at Wilkesboro. The third place spot belonged to the Michael Johnson number 40 late model, and ACR Racing doubling up the fourth and fifth place spot here tonight with Lane Woods and Declan Willis. John Michael Bryant running part-time here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. This number 23 late model for J Money Motorsports brings on the sixth place spot. And Adam Peeler definitely diced and sliced and peeled his way up through the field. The Landrum, South Carolina driver will bring home the seventh place position with the 036 Canadian of Luca Torcott crossing the border here tonight to North Carolina and bringing home a top 8 spot. Dylan Thomas brings home the ninth place position, up 17 spots from where he began tonight's event. He'll take home that Hard Charger award here tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, finishing in the ninth place spot. Dakota Pignataro rounds out the top 10 position here from New Bern inside of this number 99 late model. Some excellent racing here tonight from him. Alan Hammerbeck had it fall apart there late, top 5 all night long for the Hammer. And looks like somebody will just get into that left rear there late and send him backwards. The Hammer, Alan Hammerbeck, finishes in the 11th place spot. Finally, the 12th place spot here tonight from Paces, Virginia is going to be Trace Daniel in that number 2 late model. He had a hell of a race here tonight for ACR Racing, Neil.
Yeah, we're going to carry over to P13, Phil Bogdan. Last time we were here at North Wilkesboro, we almost watched Phil die. He hit the guardrail, he hit the sand barrel, he hit damn near everything, causing pretty much a long cleanup here. One of the most spectacular things we have ever seen on the I-85 program. Rounded up P14, Zach Evans. Not the result he was looking for, obviously. You know, that's one of our best tire savers. Gets there at the end. Got a little damage there throughout. Might have hurt the right rear and the right front a little bit too much for him tonight. 15th spot is Ace Throckmore. Pretty good run there. Started up front. Got into a little bit of an incident. Fell back a little bit. You know, pretty good night, though, still for him. One piece. P16, Andrew Parneal. Sorry, Andrew. Butchered your name. We just had you up here. I should have listened to Nick. P17, we have the 222 of Chris Nadai. Probably messed that one up, too.
Chris Noddy. It's Chris Noddy. He's
yeah,
OG.
it's all right. Chris Noddy. Yeah, sorry, Chris. Much respect. Appreciate you for being here. P18, Chris Schofter. Great result out of him. You know, got into an incident, one lap down. You know, but he was up and back. He kept climbing, kept falling back, but pretty good result for him for the most part. Tim Conrad, another one, you know, not looking forward to seeing him in the back. Obviously, these are my M&D guys, but for the most part, we're glad to see Tim here. He's struggling, has been a little sick here for the past few days, but it's glad to see him back. P20, Mike Doyle in the beautiful white and gold car tonight. Absolutely fantastic looking mobile. Newcomer, P21, Ty McIntosh, another guy that runs in our MRL series. You know, pretty new racer to these late models, doesn't know much about them. You know, he gave me a little inside there at the hauler this morning. Told me, you know, he was just going to try to feel everyone out here tonight. P22, Nate Hall, got a couple EOLs, you know, but for the most part, he's a rookie. We're going to let him slide for the most part. P23, Grayson Underwood. Not where he would like to be, starting in the 5th spot, but got into a wreck. Had to, you know, bullet to the hauler at the end of the race. That he'll be back pretty much up front next time we're back. P24, Corey Tesner. P25, James Fountain. Net code got them, Nick. We had James Fountain upside down. Corey Tesner driving into him. That's not what Chase Johnson Racing wanted to see there. I mean, they got the win, but they didn't want to see the two cars together wreck down into the corners. Rounded it out here with our last place position at P26 is Mason Cothran. Probably butchered it. It's all right. He sounds good. I like Cothran. It sounds a little bit better. Newcomer. You know, other than that, he got into a couple wrecks. You know, it's opening night, Nick. It's going to happen. You know, it usually takes us a race or two to get everything filed out. But all in all, I think it was a great night. Great field of cars. Hopefully we can keep them filing into the rest of the season.
Exactly. 9 more of these Dash for Cash races to go until we pay out the window. Who's going to be holding the big fat check worth about $250 here in the coming weeks? Craziness here tonight, Neil, at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. We did get a note from the crew at the hospital that James Fountain was checked and released from the infield care center after that tumble off of turn 4, and Corey Tesler was evaluated and released as well. Look at all these fans up here in the front half of turn 1 leaning like they are on, you know what, one too many beers here tonight. Neil, it was an epic show I can't wait to figure it out here Friday night when we head to Kansas for the Madness Racing League.
Yep, can't wait. You know, we got their MRL stuff here later at the end of the week. Make sure you all come by and watch that for us. Nick, I think I'm ready to get to the Home Run Cafe. Are you?
I'm ready to get to the Home Run Cafe, grab this flight to Kansas. I'll be having my suit and gloves out there. I'm going to be in action at Kansas. It's going to be one hell of a show. Can't wait to get there. It's been one hell of a show here tonight, though, at North Wilkesboro. Appreciate the I-85 Asphalt Series. Appreciate you, Neil, for adminning it out there. It was one hell of a show. Chase Johnson wins it here tonight at North Wilkesboro, and if I told you that, you wouldn't believe it because you already know Chase Johnson, a 3-time champion, showing his dominance. I don't know about you, Neil, but I'm going to grab another beer and light another cigarette, catch this flight. See you in the meantime.
Let's get on out of here.